All DPS. Let's see how this goes. We're starting off strong. Dante, easy S or A. This guy's still dominating, even in the June joust. I'll probably put him A. He's still consistently good for the Houston Outlaws. Been bringing top tier performances for this team. I will see what he does in a different meta. So maybe next, Summer Showdown will be good for Dante and Houston Outlaws all around. But I think he's gonna move with the S tier at some point. Yaki, this guy pops off for the Florida Mayhem every time. But June joust though has been very rough for the Florida Mayhem. I'm thinking S's as well. I'm thinking of more June joust recently where it was kind of rough, but I think Yaki was still just dominating. Putting S. Also want to say one more time, refresh for chat, refresh for YouTube. Tier list is not in order. Got that? I think we got that. Crystal, he is not D tier. Personally, he's not D tier. I think he actually brings a lot to the Valiant. He never stands out to me as like the worst player on Valiant. He actually does a lot for the Valiant with his flexibility in game for the Valiant. Play some hit scan, play some projectile heroes. I think he does a good job for the LA Valiant. We got Kevster. I still think he's been doing really good for the LA Gladiators. I think he has been with his flexibility. Kevster, I think Kevster is... Ooh, this is a hard one because Kevster's still been popping off on the LA Gladiators. I'm put him A for now. Who do we got? Architect. Architect is so weird, man, for the Hangzhou Spark. I'll put Architect B. He's been very up and down for the Spark recently. I don't think he's been bringing top tier performances, but they've been solid and consistent, so that's good. It's a good B spot for him. We have Nero, B tier maybe. Honestly, like Nero has not looked super impressive for the Shock. Yes, you can say he's not getting a lot of support recently. Him playing Echo in the June joust, but then again, sometimes he does go super aggressive. Nero's not, for me, from what I've seen stats wise, eye wise, watching him, he's not been super impressive for me just yet, so I'm putting him B tier. Teru for the Vancouver Titans, on the other hand, Teru's looking good. Honestly, the massive amount of work he does for the Vancouver Titans, you gotta put him B. And I can already hear the comments, but Nero and Teru on the same level, cringe. But Ivy on the other hand, I'm gonna put him on C. Maybe, if anything. I don't think he's been super good this year. It's one of those things where he could do really good on like a team like Philadelphia Fusion back last year, but being on this team, poor coaching, this team's not really getting well together. It's just not a good combo for Ivy. My opinion, Guangwu should be playing a bit more. I think in the long run he will turn into like Widow Specialist. They don't play him. I want to see Guangwu more, but Flora and why am I blanking on? Flora and Feather's been solid. I feel like for the MXL. Choi Se-wan. This guy's been dominating on the charge, may I say. Actually dominating. I think this guy's A tier. I think he does a lot for the charge. Let's see. We got Prophet. Tell me, man. I feel like from what I remember recently, Prophet's still like in the upper area. Still in the upper area. Even though Soul is just Soul, we'll put him S. But here's Blase. That's Blase. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Fleta. Dude, Fleta's is so good, dude. You can't stop this guy. He's been such a good player. Him even playing some hit scan parts. I mean, Lip's there, but they can always do their own thing. But Doha, dude, Doha's been doing insanely good recently as well. What can I say? Like, Doha has improved so much since the start of the season for the Dallas Fuel. He's been doing so good for this team. So good for this team. Bringing out that flexibility as well. Man, Rush's doing good things. Rascal. I think Rascal's not A tier, but not S tier. I meant he's not S tier, he's A tier. I think all around Fusion really had a rough June joust. And that kind of you can kind of see that with Rascal. So I'll put him in A tier. I think next tourney, Rascal's probably gonna be S tier again, if anything. Who's it? We got Feather. Feather's been kind of solid. I think Feather showed that he was a solid flex DPS, honestly. So I'm putting him B. All season though, he was mainly played a lot this season though. I mean this tourney though, so I'm putting him B. Nice. I wish I could have a good opinion for Nice, but he's so good on Echo mainly, but everything else has been so bad for Nice. Tracer occasionally has some plays, but other than that, I don't know what to say of Nice. Like this guy, I had high hopes for Nice. I didn't think he was going to be top tier. I had high hopes for him to pop off in Toronto Defiant. Not end up being the case. So now where do I put him? It's B or C, I think. I don't know. This one's hard. Chat, what are your opinions on Nice? I'll see what I get from y'all. I'm thinking B right now. I don't think he's been C tier, but maybe B. Valentine's been popping off a lot, actually. May Melee, he had like this upward slope of improving, and June Joust was really good for Boston Uprising all around. So with that, I'm put Valentine B for now, but later as we go on in the other tourneys, we'll see if he actually improves even more. But I'm going to put him in B right now. Assassin. Assassin has also been very good in Echo on June Joust, from what I remember. I could be thinking of someone else, but I think Assassin did do a good job. I think Assassin, if we look at May Melee, was not so good. If we look at June Joust, very good. I'm gonna put Assassin A. But I could see this being probably recency bias because of how good he performed in June Joust. Sparkle. Put him in S tier. This guy's been insanely flexible recently. A lot of people call him a one-trick coming in. I mean, hey, and those are reasonable. You know, with how 2020 went out, he can only play like 1 or 2 heroes. He's been showing his flexibility all season long for the fuel this year, and it's coming through. He's very flexible. He dominates on all the roles, and I'm excited to see what he does later in Summer Showdown in the future. Jinmu. So Jinmu has got to be either A or B. I don't think he's C. There's no way Jinmu goes C. I'm leaning more on the B side of things. I'm leaning more towards the B because A tier and S tier, different levels. We have Pelican. This guy, a lot of people be arguing these days that he could be the best flex DPS player in the league right now, which, hey, I think those are reasonable arguments. I do think so. This guy's been popping off on everything. His Echo, it's something else, man. This guy is a crazy DPS player, and if Atlanta didn't have Pelican, who knows where they would be. This guy, they are putting so much support into Pelican for making plays, flanks, all of that. They have really good strategies of Pelican, and he is doing his part on the strategy and just all around for the Atlanta Reign. Naga, and he was good in June Joust. May Melee was very inconsistent for him. Man, C and D, there's like a tier break here at this point, so I'm putting B. Yeah, we'll put him B. We'll put him B. Hybrid for London Spitfire, and we're going right down there. We have Striker. I think Striker's still one of the best hitscan players in the league right now. I don't think you can put him B or down. I can maybe understand people putting him in A, but I think Striker still is dominating on like the Reaper, occasionally the Tracer from the past. Still pops off on the hitscan. Dalton, kind of underwhelming so far this season. I had a lot of high hopes for Dalton coming in this year because a new team, sort of, you know, Fried coming in, Fire. I expected a lot more. Even Teru, him playing the hitscan role mainly. Maybe because Tracer was not playable in June Joust, he's not going to look that good, but Dalton has really been disappointing so far this year, playing the hitscan role, but maybe he'll pick it up, but we'll see. We'll see what Dalton can do later on. Now we have Decay. These guys on S, man, different level in S tier, dog. We'll put him S. Dude, look how crazy S is. That's something else. Fitz is another weird one. I think he's still been solid for the Seoul Dynasty, so I'll put him B for now. Kai for the Atlanta Reign. I think we all know where Kai's going. I think he's finally got that S tier spot. Y'all saying A. I think Kai deserves the S tier now. He's been consistently bringing those high tier performances for the Reign. He's either A or B. He do be bringing those performances for Toronto Defiant though. He do be doing that on the hit scan roll. But there's a big difference between Hisu and Aspire I've noticed in their play style. I'm 37. I think he picked it up at June Joust, but May Melee was very bad for him. So with that, I think he's been solid all around so far for the Boston Uprising, so I'm going to put him in the B or C. This is rough. Put him B. Happy? Oh, this is an easy A. Easy A for Happy. I wouldn't be surprised people put him in S tier. I think Happy's been kind of dominating every tournament so far for the Houston Outlaws. Yes, there's some hiccups that he has, but he's been doing so good for the Houston Outlaws. Onigod's been doing really good for the Paris Eternal. I don't know if I put Onigod in A. I know he occasionally has some good performances, but those performances are not insanely consistent. I'm looking for, if I put people in A, I want those really good, super consistent. I know I said Happy occasionally has hiccups, but they're like for a minute in the game. a minute. Lip, dude, Lip keeps surprising me, dude. Lip is always surprising me. Like he brings out a hero we haven't seen him play in a minute, and he brings it in. He's like one of the best at it instantly. I don't know what it is of Lip. I don't know what it is of Lip. He plays a lot of projectiles really well. Hit scans, pops off on him too. I don't know what it is of Lip. He surprises me every time I watch him. I don't get it. This man's a different breed. Birdring, A. I think Birdring's been bringing those high tier performances almost every game. Occasionally. Not as good as like people Lip. Like Lip. I mean Fleta, Yaki, Striker. I'm put him A though. Put him in A. Birdring's close to S though. Close to S. Shax, yeah, I'm putting Shax C. That was what I was gonna go instantly. He's kind of doing his own thing on Lynn Spitfire. Lynn Spitfire is kind of bad all around, so it's kind of hard to really say anything for Shax. Shy, looking at the S tier. Shy do be changing the spark. Lulonrin, I put him C. He's gotten better at some heroes. At first he was only good on Tracer in my opinion, but he kind of grew with like Echo and Doom. Occasionally the meta picks for Lulonrin, but sometimes other heroes he's not so good at. I do think though if he didn't improve on heroes like Echo or Doom, I would put him D because he was only good on Tracer like early on in the season, but he really improved. Jinmu though, I'm gonna put him on an A or B. I think he started the season off really strong, but it kind of fell off. BQB. I think BQB is like the definition of a consistent hit scan player, but they may not always be top tier like Lip, right? He's very consistent. Who's next? Flora. Flora came in really surprising. Very surprising of a hit scan player in June Joust. He had a lot of good moments on the Reaper, but he only really played Reaper to what I remember. So I'm thinking of C or B for Flora. Maybe A. I'm seeing A. I'm put Flora B. I think he deserves it. He never really had that many bad performances so far in June Joust, but we'll see what happens later on if they change it up a little bit. Leave is a top player. S or A, easily for Leave. This guy has been super consistent. High tier performances. Tracer, Echo, occasionally some other heroes. This man dominates. We'll put him S. Carpe. Actually, let's go to Mike Haley real quick. Let's get Mike Haley out of the way, shall we? Okay, let's get Carpe now. I still think he's A. I still think Carpe's A. I don't think he's S tier. I don't know. Is he? I don't know. I don't know if Carpe's really S tier yet. I mean, look at like when I think of S tier hitscan players, I am instantly going to Lip and Striker. I don't think Carpe is there yet. I think we put Aspire B though. I'll be real. He had great performances. Came in steaming, dude. He was popping off. He did a lot of good things for the Toronto Defiant. Had huge impact for his 2 or 3 games he had for the team. I think if they keep him, there's some potential with Aspire. So I'm putting him B. But I think this guy has a lot of potential in the future in the Overwatch League. Just him based on he's a ridiculous player, absolutely, I agree with that. I think Aspire has a huge future in the Overwatch League, and I think him popping off in Toronto Defiant is what he needed to do to get a statement like that to pop off. So I think he has a future. So I think this is it. I checked over the B's, C's, and D's. I think everyone in S and A is about right.